take a look. All it had in it was my lint.
What about that? Good morning. Good morning. Everybody can maybe move a little closer, a little far away here. Do we have any veterans here with us today? If you'd like to come stand with us, the flag, come forward. Thank you. Comrades, ladies and gentlemen, we gather today to honor the men and women who gave their lives in defense of our nation. Gentlemen, if you would remove your hats, everybody join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Veterans, you can render the salute. Join me. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our band will play the national anthem.
Let's pray. Almighty God, we thank you for the gift of freedom, bought with the lives of brave Americans. Comfort the families of the fallen and help us live lives worthy of their sacrifice. Amen.
We now remember those still missing and those who served as prisoners of war. These flowers symbolize the blood shed, the purity of their sacrifice, and the loyalty to our nation. Good morning, fellow veterans and honored guests, families and friends. Today we gather in Casa Obelisk not for a celebration, but for a solemn remembrance. Memorial Day is the day we set aside to honor the men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. They did not come home. They gave their last full measure of devotion so that we could stand here today as free Americans. From the fields of Gettysburg to the beaches of Normandy, the jungles of Vietnam, and the mountains of Afghanistan, the deserts of Iraq and Iran. Generations of American service members answered the call, many of them from small towns just like ours. They were our neighbors, our classmates, our brothers and sisters in arms. Their names are etched in memorials across Cass County and in the hearts of those who loved them. Because of their courage and selflessness, we enjoy the freedoms sometimes we take for granted. The right to speak, to worship together peacefully, to raise our families in safety. Freedom is never free. It has always been purchased with the blood of our patriots. As the commander of the VFW post, I ask each of you to take a moment today to remember. Teach your children and grandchildren what Memorial Day truly means. Visit a gravesite, say a prayer, fly a flag proudly, live your life in a way that honors their sacrifice. To the Gold Star family with us today, we know that your loved ones' service and memory will never be forgotten in this community. Let us pause in silence to honor the fallen. May God bless our veterans, our active duty service members, their families, and these United States of America. Thank you. Man. She has a few words for us today.
Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a time for our nation to pause and honor the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces who gave their lives in service to our country. Their courage, sacrifice, and dedication helped us protect the freedom we enjoy every day. While many people spend this holiday with family and friends, it is important that we remember the true meaning of this day. Memorial Day is not only a celebration of freedom, but also a moment of reflection and gratitude. We remember those who answered the call to serve, knowing the risks and hardships they might face. The individuals we honor today came from different backgrounds, different communities, and different walks of life. As we leave here today, let us carry forward the memory of those who made the ultimate sacrifice. May we honor them not only with words, but through our actions by showing respect for one another, serving our communities, and appreciating the freedoms that we sometimes take for granted. On this Memorial Day, let us remember, let us reflect, and let us never forget. Thank you.
Please join me in a moment of silence. Honor guard.
Hey kids, it's Papa. I know this is going to be a couple days late, but happy Memorial Day. I and my wife and our daughter just got back from our Memorial Day parade here in our teeny tiny little village in southwest Michigan. When the parade finished, we made it down to the cemetery for the memorial that we do every year. But I wanted to get this done before family started showing up for a cookout. Man, how do you go from Memorial Day to something like this? I don't know. I don't know. But there is some very weird shiznit going on down in Oklahoma. Some stuff that's got me baffled. For those of you that follow the paranormal community and follow the cryptid community, everybody has heard of the unknown animal attack on the Oklahoma woman at the end of March. And this drug on. The poor thing was laid up in the hospital for over a month. The car was towed at the scene of the attack, so, you know, her husband who is on dialysis and awaiting a kidney transplant, had to figure out how he was going to get back and forth his dialysis appointments, his doctor's appointments, plus having family to care for their 2 little girls. Well, thank God that a GoFundMe was set up for the family, which, by the way, that link is going to be right here. I cannot put any outside links or anything for some reason. All of a sudden, in the description, or I don't know. Things are getting so wackadoo anymore, it's hard to figure things out. But the GoFundMe helped them to get their car back. The original story I cannot find anywhere, even the news that had done the original report with the police officer the day after the attack is gone. I distinctly remember seeing a video of an officer in a uniform talking about how she was found. She was tore up. Her clothes were completely torn off. She was nude, laying there in front of these people's house where she went to apply for a farmhand job. Her bicep was almost completely ripped off her arm. She had unusual, very strange bite marks all over her body. On her face, her legs, her arms, her torso, everything. For some reason, that original sheriff's interview is gone. It is nowhere to be found. What I did find was the initial report from the news out in Tulsa that had the officer in charge talking in his home about the attack.
New tonight, a McAllister mom is fighting for her life after a brutal animal attack, leaving her husband and 2 young daughters in a tough position.
Alicia Maxey was found severely injured Sunday morning. On top of that, her husband Wallace is on dialysis and waiting for a kidney transplant. Fox 23's Paige Orr joins us live in studio. Paige, you talked to the family and to investigators.
That's right, guys. Investigators originally thought that a dog was responsible, but the Pittsburgh County Sheriff's Office is now working with wildlife experts to identify the animal. As they search for answers, Alicia's family is struggling to stay afloat without their sole breadwinner and without a vehicle to get Wallace to his life-saving treatments. In a remote yard in Blanco, Oklahoma, Alicia Maxey was ambushed before she could even reach the front door of a home where she was hoping to find work.
She heard a deep growl. She said she could remember this growl. And she turned to run back to the truck, and something just pounced on her and knocked her to the ground. And she says it was dog-like, is what she described, but she didn't say it was certainly a dog.
Alicia was airlifted to Ascension St. John in Tulsa with gruesome injuries to her face, arms, and legs. For her husband, Wallace, the first sight of his wife in the ICU was beyond anything he expected.
Whenever I first walked in here, I wasn't expecting to see this. You know, I was thinking more of like a dog chewed up on her leg or bites on her arm or something. I wasn't expecting this. But when I first walked in and I seen her, I broke down and started crying.
I'm in too much pain to say anything right now.
While Alicia fights through her 4th surgery, Pittsburgh County Sheriff Frankie McClendon says the sheer scale of the attack has prompted a search for answers.
38 years, I've never been involved or seen anything to this extent as far as injuries caused by a wild animal. Our question now is what caused these injuries? We've got the Department of Wildlife. They have actually taken some of the evidence, some of the clothing that was ripped from her, and send it off to one of their labs to see what we can find out if there's any way to identify what type of animal.
The tragedy has left the couple's 6- and 7-year-old daughters in a hard spot. Wallace is currently on the list for a kidney, but since their only car was towed after the attack, he has no way to get to his dialysis appointments 2 hours away. Now, the family faces mounting costs for food and housing while supporting Alicia's recovery.
Alicia, she is a loving, caring person. I mean, if you ever needed help, it doesn't matter who you are, she will sit there and help you the best that she can.
Now the family is hoping the community will return that kindness through a GoFundMe set up to help the Maxeys out as Alicia recovers. Live in studio covering news that matters, Paige Orr, Fox 23 News.
If you would like to help the Maxey family, you can find the link to their GoFundMe in this story on fox23.com.
Now, everybody that's part of the cryptid community has been trying to follow this story, and it has been a bear to follow. But I'll tell you what, just a few days ago, there was an interview done with the woman on what is it called, Red Dirt Cryptid Investigations or something like that. And here's the most recent news release, which came just a week or two ago, and then we'll get into the video that was just released 3 or 4 days ago on the other channel, which, by the way, I cannot express enough. The host of this channel has been following this case tight. He has reported fact after fact after fact. And I like this guy. He has the same moral character that I do. He don't want to report the BS. He wants to report the facts. I would definitely go over right there, check him out, subscribe to his channel, help him blow up, the same as I ask you to help me blow up. He makes a really good statement during the video about the fact that he only likes to report the facts, is what he believes is keeping his channel from blowing up like it should. He don't get into the fantasy, he don't get into the fanciful, he don't blow things out of proportion. He reports the facts, same as I do. And I think that's one reason why channels like ours never truly blow up. Let's check this thing out.
A McAllister mother is finally out of the ICU and improving after a brutal animal attack that left investigators in Pittsburgh County stunned.
DNA results released this week confirm a domestic dog, not a wild animal, is responsible for Alicia Maxey's injuries. Fox 23's Paige Orr joins us live in studio. Paige, Alicia's family says they have even more questions as this investigation continues.
I spoke with the family and the sheriff's office today, and one thing was clear: the search for answers is not over. While the DNA test results from the University of Florida finally identified the animal involved, the family says this is only one piece of the puzzle. Pittsburgh County Sheriff Frankie McClendon says DNA samples taken from the clothing off Alicia Maxey have finally been processed.
Their findings were that they were consistent with a domestic dog. We have actually obtained some DNA samples from the homeowner's dogs, swabbing the cheek or the mouth area, sent them off for analysis, and we're awaiting the results from those comparisons.
The search for answers has been a long road. It began March 29th when Alicia was found mauled in a remote yard in the Blanco area. By April 3rd, the first Fox 23 story aired as investigators searched for a wild animal. On April 5th, the mystery deepened as the property owner claimed no job had been posted for a farmhand, which is the reason Alicia's family says she was in the area. This week, DNA results from the University of Florida's Center for Forensic Medicine confirmed the attacker was a domestic dog. And Friday, Alicia was moved out of the ICU. But Alicia's sister, Elizabeth Hightower, says the family is hearing most of this from the media, not the sheriff.
The family didn't know anything. Nobody knew anything until the news was aired. I learned that the sheriff's department told the McAllister newspaper about the DNA results before the family was told. That is really upsetting.
The property owner has refused to comment on the record to Fox 23, directing all questions to law enforcement.
The homeowner's silence speaks volumes.
As the investigation moves forward, Alicia suffered a setback. Her sister-in-law, Kat Kelly, says Alicia required emergency surgery earlier this week, though now she's been moved to a regular hospital room.
And she has seen herself, and she's in disbelief. She's really down because she hasn't seen the girls. She's really down because, Wally has to go back and forth to dialysis, and she's pretty much alone up there.
Alicia's husband, Wallace, continues his own battle with kidney failure while trying to care for their two daughters. The family says they are grateful for the community support as they navigate a recovery that is far from over. Live in studio covering news that matters, Paige Orr, Fox 23 News.
So I guess I'm gonna get this party started we finally got the most popular woman in Oklahoma cryptid, the cryptid circles.
I know after my incident, it blew up from what Wallace had told me. It blew up all over the place, like Dogman, Wolfman,
Right.
Sasquatch, the whole bunch of everything decided. It just blew up. And I'm sitting there in my hospital bed listening to all these stories, and apparently I was supposed to turn into a werewolf and all that sort of stuff. And I'm sitting in my hospital bed just laughing at all of it. But I mean, it's not that I don't believe in these stories. I believe there's other things out there that we can't see and we haven't seen. But I mean, I'm not going to, say there isn't that just because I haven't seen it. But in my experience, it really wasn't one of those things.
Okay. Well, it like I said, I think a lot of it had to do with, the way that the news, said that it was dog-like. And
yeah, that was my sister-in-law that said it was dog-like. And
there was a period of time where nobody knew what was really going on, And so, yeah, you're just kind of going with whatever information is available right then. So,
those old picture shows. You know how you had the slides and it would go with each frame. That's
right.
how my memory is of the situation. And I guess that's what everybody's really been wanting to know from firsthand is what happened, what's my eyewitness story.
Right.
And
oh yeah.
That morning, I was thinking, because I just lost my job a week before then, and I don't know what was going through my mind, why I'm one of those impulsive people. So I figured, if I went to some random house out in the middle of nowhere, I could get a job as a ranch hand or something like that. So I just picked a one random house, and it was just longhouse type of deal. And I don't remember much, but I do know I went to walk up to the door, and I heard growling, and that's when I started backing up to my truck with my hands raised, because I knew that, you don't run away from dogs. And as soon as I got pretty close to my truck, I turned around, and all I can remember seeing is a dog's, just the nose and the canines bared looking at me. And then I remember being on the ground, my clothes all shredded, and reaching up trying to grab my truck door and open it, but being dragged right back down, and a dog standing over top of me. I mean, it it was like a short-haired dog, and it was white on the bottom and darker grayish color top to it, from what I could tell. I wasn't really trying to pay attention. I was trying to protect myself and trying to get back into my truck. But that blacked out, and the next thing I remember hearing is shoo, shoo, get off of her. And then don't remember anything until I woke up 3 days later in the ICU in Tulsa.
Wow. So that's got to be very terrifying, I've had people ask me, and you would be surprised how many people have been reaching out to me and asking me, for information. A couple of weeks ago, I was in Jasper, Arkansas. I was speaking at a conference over there, and I had over a dozen people ask me, how you were doing, and what the latest update was and stuff. And that's in a different state, and people know your name, within the cryptid community because of that. And because of the way it all kind of went down. But so people ask me, it's like, well, what was she doing out there? And I'm like, well, the way if you're looking for a job, that's how you make miracles happen. You get out there and you hustle. It's kind of old school mentality. And these, nowadays it's like people just sit around and they apply online. But, that's how we used to do it back in the day, is we'd just start, knocking on doors and looking. And, especially if you're looking for, some type of ranch hand work, that's how you do it, is you show up. And, it's probably what you going around looking for work like that probably is strange to a lot of people nowadays, but that's how we used to do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, one thing I can say is most farmers, they have more money than they let on, and they're always looking for help, So
Yeah.
what kind of work do you do, just out of curiosity?
It's been mostly cashier and fast food work, but I've been wanting to branch out and learn other, stuff, try to find something that's more compatible with me, because I hate being stuck inside of a building. I hate being constricted by four walls, and I was trying to find, an opportunity to do something different with my life.
Yeah. I understand. I mean, that's kind of what I do for a living, is I help people, develop a trade set so they can get out there and get out of those, I guess you would, those normal jobs, that a lot of people, they slip into them. So do you, what is your current, I guess, how are you recovering? Well, what can you tell us about that?
Well, I'm recovering all right. I got out on the 12th, but before I even left Tulsa to go to the inpatient rehab here in McAllister, I had undergone 8 surgeries and they had taken flesh off my back to reconstruct my upper left, not left, my upper right arm, and then they had taken there's like a 2-foot incision on my upper right thigh where they took out muscle and skin to reconstruct my left arm. And then on my left leg, there is basically the similarity of road rash that to cover up my back and cover up what they took out of my back and the kind of the little random spots that still needed to be covered up. And I don't remember. I know I was in like the inpatient rehab for like 3 weeks, but I had been so I can't really. I don't remember the exact date that I'd gotten out of Tulsa before I came back to McAllister for the inpatient rehab. But I got done and came home on the 12th of May.
Hmm. You were in there for quite a while.
Yeah, I've been in there since March 29th, so it's been almost 2 months that I've been in the month and a half, basically, with in the hospital.
Hmm. So, what do the doctors say is, like your prognosis for things like, returning back to normal, if that's even possible?
Well,
being able to go back to work.
They they say that it's going to be months of physical therapy. There's even a possibility that I might not be able to use my left arm again. And my right hand, I can't even extend it yet, but I still got physical therapy. So there's always that my right arm I can see going back to normal. My left arm, there's a possibility that it might not go back to normal.
Wow. So,
but I'm up and walking at least.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a step in the right direction, especially probably after spending a month at least in bed.
Yeah, I can walk, but I can't get up by myself, and I can't do other stuff. I have to depend on everybody to grab stuff and hold stuff for me. I can't. Yeah, I can't eat on my own. I can't go to the bathroom on my own. I can't drink on my own or anything like that. I literally have to depend on Wallace for everything.
Wow.
And sometimes my girls help.
Yeah, I saw those pictures of your girls feeding you in the hospital room and stuff. That was good. So, so you're probably never going to be, 100% again.
No, sir.
Do you see yourself being able to go back to work eventually?
Maybe it might be another year before I possibly could.
It would probably depend on the job, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have to be easy work, more than likely.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You get a pass. You're going to be on light duty for a while.
Yes.
So, is your GoFundMe still operational? Still going?
Yes, sir. As far as I know, Brian, it is.
Okay, because you're probably going to need, you're going to be down for a while. You're probably going to need a lot of help. Just trying to keep the electricity turned on because one thing I know about OG&E is they don't.
They don't let you skip power out of you. They don't let you skip a payment.
No, that's the way it is around here anyway. So,
we have a PSO here.
PSO, yeah. Okay, yeah. So, and you're back home now at your house in McAllister, and so I guess let me ask you a couple of questions. Has the homeowners been in contact with you at all?
No, sir. I haven't heard anything from the homeowners. Nothing. Like we didn't even know about the DNA coming back from the wildlife people that it was domestic dog until I think the news people or somebody told us.
Really?
And so like we haven't really been notified of everything from the law enforcement and authorities here, and even the homeowners haven't reached out in a formal, we're sorry about our dog, being vicious and biting you like that, or if it even was their dog. I'm not saying it was, but it's just domestic dog, and they had at least one dog outside at the time. So, I mean, when you have two things that are the same, it's kind of easy to connect the dots.
Yeah. That whole thing is so. Let me get this straight. We're still waiting on the second round of DNA results to come back.
Yes. Unless they have come back, and we have not heard from law enforcement on that.
When was the last time you guys actually heard from the sheriff's department?
It's been about a month.
The only thing that we heard about the sheriff was about your phone.
Yeah, that was it. That was the last thing. Was that
and that was because they wanted your phone back, right?
No, they wanted my phone back, and then whenever they were done with it, they called Wallace and told him that he could come pick up the phone. And whenever he came and picked up the phone, they didn't have anything to say to him. They didn't say nothing to him, and they'd already gotten the DNA back from the dog being a domestic, the animal being a domestic dog. So they haven't been very upcoming from us.
So this next question that I'm going to ask is going to be kind of a weird question, but it's a question that comes up a lot in the cryptid stuff. Have they tried to direct your testimony as to what happened or anything? Tried to kind of put words in your mouth and this is what you're going to say, or?
No, they haven't even been in contact with us enough to put words in our mouth.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
like I had one visit from the sheriff and told that one visit from the sheriff's department out here that came to Tulsa. Only one sheriff ever came out there, and over a month that I was in Tulsa.
Really? And it was a deputy or something?
Yeah, it was a deputy sheriff, and he was just coming out there to ask me, the simple little questions of why was I out there, what happened, what can I remember, and stuff like that. But other than that, it wasn't any this is what we've heard and stuff like that. There was a rumor that they were going to the homeowners were going to file trespassing lawsuit against me to save their animals, but ever since I've gotten out, I haven't heard anything from them. So I'm on standstill right now. If they do come after me for trespassing, I'm gonna go back after them for having a vicious dog on their property. But I can't. I'm not going to do anything right now because I've got two beautiful girls that I'm thankful to be alive with, and I'm just going to focus on my healing.
Right. Well, do you remember seeing signs? Beware.
No.
Was it even posted no trespassing or anything? Do you remember that?
I don't remember. As I said, I blocked out a lot of that night.
I guarantee you those signs are up now, I bet you. Bet you they got some brand new. I bet they still got the price tag on them, and they're probably
Yeah, probably.
well.
They probably shot a
Gee,
couple of bullet holes in there to make it look authentically like they've been up there for a while.
Well, I wouldn't take it too personal because they probably have already been in contact with their lawyer, and they've probably been told not to contact you, and it's probably nothing personal. They probably have been coached, because there's probably but that that's what they have insurance for too, But who knows? Who knows what they've been told or what they're afraid of or what they're thinking? But you do know their names and stuff now at this point, and
Did we?
I've been told their name, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, we don't. I don't remember what their name is.
yeah, well, you know where it happened at, so
Yes.
all right. Well, so do you have at this point? Do you have any idea what breed of dog that it was that attacked you?
Apparently a German Shepherd, and I think there was a bull mastiff on the property as well. I'm not for sure.
Okay. The one thing that I think is kind of weird about the whole thing is if it was one of the homeowner's dogs, when the sheriffs arrived, I mean, it would be like a no-brainer. It's like, well, the dog over here is covered in blood. You would think that they would put two and two
Well,
together.
apparently they took the dog and washed the blood off and put it inside the house.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Apparently that's what happened before the sheriff even got there.
That is tampering with evidence.
Yeah, that's apparently what happened. I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but that is apparently what happened. But
that's criminal.
Yeah, but he's an EMT firefighter or something like that, and so they're all brothers in arms type of thing. So
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there is that conspiracy that the sheriffs are just going to sweep it underneath the rug because brothers in arms type of thing.
Well, they're probably going to make you make the first move, and so I think it's strange that that I think it's very weird the way that the sheriff's department has not been communicating with you, probably to the extent that they should. Is the sheriff's department for Blanco the same as the sheriff's department for you live in McAllister, right? It's the same county, right?
It's the same county, yes, sir. I mean, yes, Brian.
Yeah, they have no excuse then. I don't understand this. I mean, you literally live in the county seat where the sheriff's department is. You think that they would?
Well, I don't live in McAllister. I live in a little town that's like 10 minutes from McAllister in Savannah, Oklahoma.
Okay. Well, still, they know where you live. Yeah. They probably have sheriff's officers drive by your house all the time. So, I don't know. But then again, you think about it, it's their job is not really empathy. It's their job is to document, prosecute, and protect. And I guess at the point where you were transported to the hospital, I guess you could argue that short of criminal prosecution, their job was done. So I guess their job isn't really feelings. It's just paperwork and stuff like that. I don't know. It just seems like
just make that police report and police record it, and then it's up to the other parties to pursue whatever avenues they want.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. There's just so many questions and so many weird things that kind of happened out of this. Did they? I don't know. So we're still waiting on the DNA to find out if it was this dog. there was 2 dogs on scene, and there is a possibility that they're either waiting on you to do something.
Well, there wasn't 2 dogs on scene. It was the German Shepherd was laying next to me whenever the homeowner found me. And then they own 2 other German Shepherds. So there's 3 German Shepherds in total. And then the Bull Mastiff is just an eyewitness account that from like a UPS driver, or no, not the UPS, from the person that towed my truck off of their property. He saw a Bull Mastiff.
So at this point, you don't really have any idea which animal or all of them got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the rumor is that you were there for an hour.
I have no idea. I was in and out of consciousness, and I don't remember most of it because the trauma was literally blacked out in my brain.
Okay. So, but you're fairly sure that there was somebody on site whenever the attack actually happened, right?
Yeah. There is theories. There's a rumor that the person seen me walking up to the door and didn't know who I was and was just closed their blinds and was going to act like they weren't even home.
But they still should have heard the dogs.
Yeah. But I do know going in and out of consciousness, I do know that somebody shooed the dog or dogs off of me or told them to go. And then that I don't remember anything after that.
Wow. And so you don't remember a gunshot or anything?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. Wow. So, let's see here. You've answered most of my questions. Let's see here. I'm trying to think. I wrote down a few questions, but I didn't. I don't know. What else do you want to say? I mean, you're fairly confident that it was one of those domestic dogs.
Yes.
And at this point, you don't have any reason to believe that there was anything resembling a conspiracy to alter the DNA. It's probably just a case where it's like a good old boy deal, and they're probably waiting for you to get a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to need one. And, you probably need to get the ball rolling. I don't know that there's a statute of limitations on
I think 2 years.
Yeah. Well.
But this experience has been very, very traumatizing, and don't remember much of it, but the mental load afterwards, it is frustrating. Like, because I used to be so independent and doing everything, and I was the one that planned everything and made things work and all this sort of stuff. And now I'm just stuck here having to depend on everybody else to do everything. And I mean, I've switched between angry and depressed and all those emotions all the time.
Right. Yeah, it's humbling, whenever you you have to depend on other people, so.
I mean, it's humbling being in the hospital and having to literally depend on people to clean you up after stuff.
Oh gosh, I can only imagine.
That is really humbling.
I know this is going to sound kind of awkward, but the people would kick my ass if I didn't ask. They said that when they found you that you'd had all your clothes removed. Was I mean, it's not you weren't like completely naked or something like that.
No, I wasn't completely naked. The dogs or dogs, whatever, they had mauled me to the point that I was pretty much naked.
Okay. All right. And were you you remember what you were wearing? Was it?
I
I mean, I
think
can
I was wearing.
understand it if it was a sundress or something, but man, it'd be hard to pull a pair of blue jeans off somebody.
Yeah, I was wearing blue jeans. I was wearing a pair of boots, and I was wearing a tank top and a sports bra.
Okay. And did you get any of those clothes back from the hospital?
Nope, I got my ID and my ring back. But other than that, I had no other possessions that they gave to me.
Wow. I think it's strange because you should have come in with something on your body, during at least a sock or something.
Yeah,
And
I didn't have any clothes. They didn't give me any of my clothes back.
I mean,
Like not even a single sliver of a clothing item. Like not even my belt.
At least they should have said, yeah, hell, your belt should have still been good.
Yeah, my belt should have been. It was leather. I mean, it should have been good.
Yeah. So I mean, some of this stuff. I mean, these are questions that you need to be, asking the hospital staff and maybe even the sheriff's department. I mean, there's no reason for them to send off your belt, to get DNA off of.
Unless they were measuring bite marks or something like that off the leather.
Well, that's a possibility, I guess. I hadn't thought about that, but I don't know. I think it's strange that you cannot tell me that the hospital would throw away the clothing that came in on an attack victim.
Yeah,
victim
and then you also want to know something even stranger is the fact that whenever Wallace asked them how I got to the hospital, apparently I was airlifted. That's what everybody says. I was airlifted to the hospital. But apparently the staff there told him I was brought in on an ambulance.
So they ran you all the way up there in an ambulance.
Yeah, I was airlifted. I know for a fact that I was airlifted. Like there was no way that an ambulance was getting out into the boonies and driving me 2 hours away in that extensive amount of stuff, injuries. So I was airlifted, but according to the record or whatever, I was brought in on an ambulance. That's what they told him.
That was weird because usually they'll land the helicopter right on top of the hospital and they'll bring you in.
Yeah.
And there's usually an elevator that.
I mean, unless it's in the unless they label it in the system as like an air ambulance, maybe I don't know.
You'd think they'd remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not every day that those helicopters come in every so often, but it's usually a big deal. It's not something that they'll confuse. That is odd too. I didn't know that either. Was there anything else that was peculiar or kind of an unanswered question?
Other than the police just not, being forthcoming with us, that's the only other peculiar thing. And my clothes and having only a ring and a ring and my ID and my possessions that they gave to him after he got there.
So, I don't know. The whole thing is it's odd.
It is.
It's very odd. And the way that everybody reacted and the ridiculousness of the behavior of what people were saying online and stuff. And yeah, I mean, it went bananas. The whole thing did.
I was telling him it's hot in here.
Yeah. It's cold over here, so. Well, let's see. I know as soon as we end this, I'm going to have a couple of questions that come to mind, but I think the whether or not this is cryptid related, that question has been answered. And and hopefully, you get to move on with your life, and maybe one of these days you'll laugh about this. But I think it'll probably be a while.
Yeah.
But I still think that you probably need to lawyer up, and you're probably going to need some help with that. And so I think that people should seriously consider donating to your GoFundMe, because I don't know what you got in there, but it ain't going to go very far,
No,
sir. And, you're going to be out of work for quite a while. And, Maxwell can't, work because he's on dialysis, right? Is that right?
Wallace.
Yes.
No, he can't work. He's on dialysis.
So,
he's got disability, and that's not much money to live off of either.
well, hopefully you got your paperwork rolling on that.
I'm about to.
Don't wait.
I'm not.
Yeah, because I've heard it takes forever. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot harder now than it was like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, all you had to do was go to the disability office and tell them you were mentally unstable or you couldn't work, and they'd be handing you the check. Nowadays, they ask you 15 million questions.
Yeah. Well, and there's they literally make you wait months and months and months. So, well, yeah, I'm sure that'll be fun. But at least somebody in your family has already been through it, so you might know a little bit better about what to do and where to go and who to talk to. And the one good thing about it is you shouldn't have to work too hard to prove that you're, disabled at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, what else would you like to say before we wrap this up?
Well, I was just gonna say thank you for this opportunity to get my story out and help out all those cryptid people, maybe put their mind a little at ease on all of this, and kind of answer some of their questions. I know people have been asking, and especially all those people out in, was it Jasper, wherever you were at?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just thankful that you let me answer all your questions.
Well, a lot of people wanted it to be some type of cryptid, and I get that.
And I've heard so many stories. I heard that apparently I seen some dark, figure rise up on its hind legs with glowing red eyes, and heard a growl, and then I was a goner.
Yeah. Well, fiction does seem to sell a lot better. But
than reality.
Yeah, my policy has always been I try to stick to the facts, and that's probably why my platform is so small. As people like scary stories and creepypasta more than they like the truth. So
yeah, they'd rather have that fantasy of the werewolves and dragons and stuff like that than they would just a documentary.
For sure. Well, people want to be entertained, and I get that.
Yes, they do.
But they still do care. They were very concerned. I got a lot of questions about whether or not it was a Dogman and what I thought it was, and but people were asking about how you were recovering and stuff like that too. They were very concerned. And so,
I mean, that dog, it might have looked like a German Shepherd, but it could have been a skinwalker. I mean, there's always a possibility out there.
Yeah. Have you made any enemies down there lately? So
no, as Wallace has said before, I'm one of those people that if you got an issue or problem or something like that, I'll try to help you solve it and stuff like that. I'm not really intentionally mean or cruel or anything like that. I'm a really giving person. So, I mean, unless there's somebody out there that doesn't like me and has been posting keeping those pictures up on the wall, stalker like or anything like that,
Yeah.
I mean, somebody out there might have a whole closet full of my pictures and wanting to end me, but there's
Make a
always
voodoo doll of you. A little
Yeah.
Alicia voodoo doll. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, I guess if you start growing fangs and claws and your hair starts growing uncontrollably, you let me know. And
I would definitely let you know.
Wallace would definitely let you know. He'd be like, Brian, you need to come see this.
yeah,
Get
I
your
don't
car.
have any
Get
silver
down here now.
bullets or anything.
And there you have it. That is the complete interview, the only one I know of in existence right now with Alicia Maxey. Huge thank you to Red Dirt Cryptid Investigations for their diligence in this case. What do you think? What do you think? I sat and I watched that video 5 times this morning, starting at 4 a.m. when it was sent to me and actually woke me up with a note that said, you have to watch this. It went from this to this story, to this story, to this story. And I don't know if you noticed or not, and you might want to go back and look again if you didn't. It looked to me like to where she was sitting at in her home doing the interview. It looked, understand, I'm not a professional. I am not a professional. I am a minister. I have counseled single people and couples and stuff before. But it sure did seem to me like the way you're looking at the screen, to the right of the screen is where her husband was at. But whenever a legal question came up, she would either look to the left of the screen or look right above the camera. Like there was somebody back there that's the feeling I got. And I kept zooming in and checking it out over and over. Now understand, when this story began, the people that lived at that ranch where she was attacked at was not home. They came home an hour later to find her laying out by her truck. Now, it's being said there was people there, but they just didn't respond to the noise. Or they pulled their blinds down and just tried to act like they weren't there. It went from unidentifiable attack patterns on the bites and the scratches to, oh, it's a domestic dog.
38 years, I've never been involved or seen anything to this extent as far as injuries caused by a wild animal. Our question now is what caused these injuries? We've got the Department of Wildlife. They have actually taken some of the evidence, some of the clothing that was ripped from her, and send it off to one of their labs to see what we can find out if there's any way to identify what type of animal.
There's a seems to me like the further this investigation goes, the more questions come up. In over 30 years, the officer has never seen this kind of attack, this vicious of an attack, this style of an attack. But oh, it's just a domestic dog. Now, I'm here to tell you, my son has 2 very large Corsos, King Corsos. I grew up the first 15 years of my life with a retired German Shepherd police officer. Neither one of them viciously attacked like that. I've had bull mastiffs. No. And what about the theory of taking the dog in the house, washing the blood off of it, and keeping it locked up in the house? That's definitely tampering with evidence. Next big question. Alicia mentioned them possibly pursuing charges of trespassing. The whole story thus far has been that she never entered the property. She pulled up in front of the property, got ready to open the gate onto the property, but didn't get on the property. So just because she was walking towards the gate, like I said, the further this thing goes on, the more questions pop up. And I don't think we've heard the end of this. Don't talk about this. It's okay to talk about this. No, don't comment. Repeat what we practiced. You know, I'm a firm believer in every aspect of the paranormal, but I'm not a big fan of hiding the truth. I recently made a discovery when this first started that every single one of these Dogman encounters are within a 20-mile radius of a military installation. Out in Oklahoma, just north of me here in Michigan, Manistee National Forest, where the Dogman is encountered every single fall. 3 military bases within 20 miles. Will the truth ever come out, or will they keep covering it up? Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. God bless you, God love you, we do. And happy hunting.